I'm still trying to decide how I feel about this new kind of filming setup that I'm going on here. I don't know. It's okay, I guess. Hi, today I am here to maybe bring you my first ever writing vlog slash episode slash update slash whatever the hell you call these things when you talk about the books that you're writing. I don't know what to call it because I've never made one of these before, because I've literally never written anything before. But now I have started working on a book. So today is me officially announcing my current work in progress and telling you a little bit about it, and hopefully making a plan to continue this as a series of updates as I go through writing my first ever novel. I feel weird about it because I kind of feel like an imposter. I kind of feel like I'm not a real writer. I don't know why. Maybe I feel like I've joined the bandwagon of booktubers who join AuthorTube and start writing books. But I had this temptation to write a book, and it was Camp NaNoWriMo, so I just went with it, as here we are. I don't have a name by which I can refer to the book. I'm hoping to come up with at least a placeholder name for it sometime soon. But let me tell you a little bit about my plan for my story, and then a little bit about my writing journey so far. So it is a fantasy novel. I don't think anyone is surprised by that, because fantasy is one of my top 3 genres that I like to read. It is inspired in part by Irish culture. In particular, I've got some kind of elements that I want to explore in terms of the concept of paganism, which is one of the reasons why I chose Ireland as kind of my base land that I was going to be drawing on elements of for my own fantasy world. I'm kind of exploring the concept of paganism versus modern religion a little bit, which sounds a little bit like it's going to be kind of controversial, like it might have a risk of being controversial, but it won't, I promise. It is still basically just a fantasy novel. There's just some background stuff going on. And the magic system is inspired by actual fields of science. So there's different areas of magic, but they're linked to modern fields of science, sort of anatomy, zoology, biology, botany, chemistry. Each of the kind of different sort of talents of magic that you can have in this fantasy world draws on scientific principles, which is something that I'm really excited about, and I've been having a lot of fun writing those sciencey magics. The premise that I wanted to explore in writing this book was kind of the concept of what happens when you censor or when you ban knowledge. So that the idea is that people used to know and understand this magic system and to be able to use it freely, but then the knowledge of this magic system and how it works and how to use it was banned, so people can no longer really use their magic. People don't know how, which is why I like the idea of the magic system drawing on science, because then it's kind of the magic system is kind of this metaphor for science and research and advancement of knowledge, and all of those things have been suppressed and aren't allowed. So that's the background concept of the story. And then obviously there's some characters, and there's a main character who is kind of driven by this kind of purpose of not having that be the case anymore. I don't want to ruin stuff, but it's kind of like a quest for knowledge. Yeah, so that's my very, very vague attempt at describing what's going on with the book. It'd be so easy if I could just say it was a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, or a something or other, but it's not. I don't know how to explain stuff. What else was I gonna say? So in terms of writing so far, I started writing for NaNoWriMo. I wrote my first chapter because that was basically me getting really inspired about the premise and the world and what's gonna happen, and I was just really excited to get all of that out on paper. And then I kind of sat back and was plot. Plot needs to happen. And I've been tossing up between 2 kind of main story arcs that I wanted to have. Sounds really weird to even have this as an issue, but I was there were 2 kind of main story arcs that I could have. One of them is the quest, and the other one was kind of an escape narrative. I don't know if it has a name, and I was I don't know what I want to have happen here. And I felt in some ways that really relied on me having more of a solid world building foundation, and my phone just went dead halfway through filming that, so that's fun, but I didn't have any idea what I wanted my plot to be still. And then finally I was just maybe I should just sit down and try and write anything at all and just see what happens inspiration wise. And amazingly enough, that actually helped. All of these inspirations were coming to me as I was writing them, where I was that's what's gonna happen. And suddenly I was like, oh, I have ideas. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty excited about the stuff that is happening. So at episode 1 of this writing vlog, my word count is 5,361 words, which is, I think it's like 12 or 13 pages, so not much, but something. But I thought that it might be nice to share like my favorite sections as I'm writing, so you can get a bit of a taste of what's to come and stuff like that. So in order to understand this particular section, I'll need to tell you a little bit about some of the characters. So far, the characters that I'm working with, I've only got 3 characters that have been introduced to you at this stage, and that is the main character, her name is Layla, and then her parents. So both of her parents are also kind of in play. Her parents are Rowan and Madigan. And this is a section from just a little paragraph from Rowan's point of view, the father, and he's talking about Madigan. So it goes, everything about Madigan was fire. The red hair, the flame-tinted freckles across her nose, the eyes that seemed to crackle with life and energy. Looking at her, I found myself entranced and awed, as one often finds oneself when looking at a flame. They say that fire and ice are opposites. I say they're wrong. It's not fire and ice, but fire and wood that are opposites, for one devours and the other is devoured. Madigan had devoured me heart and soul. I don't know, I just like it. I like these characters. I like their relationships with each other. I'm really excited for them to be playing a part in this fantasy series when parents normally aren't really involved at all, like they're always dead or they abandon their children or something. Like there's always a tragic backstory involved with like the main character and her parents. So I'm really excited that this main character has a parents that are alive and kicking and that they're so lovely, and I ship them so hard. So I'm really, yeah, that's my favorite little section that I've written so far. I hope you like it. I hope it's not too sappy or poetic or some kind of bullshit. And that's it for vlog number 1 of writing a book, episode 1. I don't know what this is. I don't know what else to say. I'll see you for another video very shortly, I am sure. And until then, as always, stay classic.
Sit there and count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue.